And we are back here live at Pottergrass 5 in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And folks, right now, I have one of the international speakers with us, Mr. Barry Fitzgerald. And of course, Chris comes over with donuts. Gotta have a donut. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you,
Chris
Chris.
from
I'm good. Thank you.
Chris from Traveler's Moon, people. You never know who's going to pop in on her. But here we have Barry Fitzgerald, all the way over from Ireland,
Yes, sir.
who is also part of Ghost Hunters International. Thank you. Welcome to the United States. Welcome to the Canadian show known as the Paranormal Voice.
Oh, thank you very much for having me.
So, Barry, what got you into the paranormal, as well as how did you get onto Ghost Hunters International?
I think getting into the paranormal, like most people that are serious into it, they have an experience in their youth, and I was no different. I have my experiences. And that really paved the way for me to start investigating, and now I've dedicated 35 years of my life into the serious research behind it, about where this is coming from, what is it, how does it affect us personally,
Right, yes.
and understanding our own biology helps us understand the phenomenon itself. And from there, of course, from those early days, then Ghost Hunters came to Ireland, and we recorded one of their most successful shows, and up until that particular point, the show's history.
Yeah.
And several months after that, I got a phone call from Los Angeles, and they said, "Look, Barry, we thought you were great on the show, and we're going to do an international show, which entails you traveling the world looking for spirits in all these different countries. Would you consider being part of the show?" Well, of course, I thought about
want that opportunity.
all of 2 seconds. I went, "Sure, why not?" And so that was that. So the rest is history, as they say.
Wow, that is amazing. I mean, being able to travel the world and to be in places that you've heard of or read about,
Yes.
or even you probably ended up finding places you never even knew existed, which is all what the paranormal field is about, is getting in there, digging in deeper to stories or to myths and legends and stuff like that. So could you tell us one of the most freakiest things that's ever happened to you while you were out there exploring?
Oh my goodness. I think one of the things that really stands out to me, because it took a long period of time to solve, was our visits to Vlad Tepes's castle in Panare, Dracula.
Yes.
So we went to Dracula's castle in Transylvania, and it was while we were there that the night before this vision occurred, in which there was a woman standing on the back of lions. She was furious that we were going to Dracula's castle. And I thought, number one, I was thinking, who the hell are you? And what did I do to annoy you? But as the day went on, we investigated Dracula's castle. We tried to reach Vlad's essence in every way that we could. We couldn't reach him.
Wow.
There was nothing there of memory of this ruler. And I switched my questioning. I never told the crew, I never told the cast. I switched my questioning from Vlad to her.
Yeah.
And we got one Class A EVP, leave now.
Wow.
She was furious that we were there. And I didn't know who this was. 10 years later, I discovered that the Ouroboros, the circular serpent eating its tail, also represented the Order of the Dragon, which Vlad's father was part of, which was to save Christendom from the Turks invading through from the Ottoman Empire. But this symbol is a Babylonian symbol. It's an ancient, esoteric Babylonian symbol, not something that represents Christendom. Right. I thought, wait a minute, where's this leading me to? Yeah. The woman who was standing on the back of lions is a Babylonian goddess of war.
Oh, wow.
Now, this is 10 years later after this particular event. Vlad was taken by the Sultan. He was introduced to this aspect of esotericism within the Middle East. And this had been playing out. And of course, the memory of this is within this building.
Yeah.
Now, I got to ask the question, if we're looking at these ancient occult esoteric practices that are being carried out, that meant that most of the royal families that were in power in the Eastern Europe, who were all part of the Order of the Dragon, were also connected to this Babylonian esoteric practice.
Wow.
So what on earth was going on? That, to me, was a beautiful roundup of this encounter.
Yeah, no, that is fascinating. It's amazing. You just talked about that symbol of the snake eating itself, because I just started reading a book by Mike Ricksector, Time Travel, and that symbol is in the very first chapter of his book. That is so fascinating, because I've seen it, but I've never understood it until I just read the first chapter of his book. That is so fascinating.
Oh, it really was. It was a wonderful encounter. We've had many
Yes.
on GHI, and I think someone would say, well, what's your most memorable aspects of GHI? And I think it's when the cameras are switched off. To be able to climb into the middle of the jungle in the Yucatan and climb up to the top of these ancient pyramids at night as the moon is coming across the top of the jungle canopy. Those are something that's once in a lifetime opportunity. And just to lie down as they did and look at the stars.
Yeah,
absolutely amazing.
Oh, I would agree. So here in North America, we have cryptids, Bigfoots, and stuff like that. What does Ireland have that is a cryptid?
Oh my God!
What is the most famous cryptid, I should say?
Oh well, it would have to be the banshee and the leprechauns, of course.
I've heard of the banshee. I would love to learn more about the banshee at all.
Well, the banshee itself is derived from the particular term ban in Irish, of course. The Gaelic is woman, and she was believed to be the fairy. So banshee is woman of the fairy. But that translation is not quite correct.
Okay.
Because the she actually represents these artificial stone mounds that were built before the Great Pyramids of Giza, and they dot the landscape. It means woman of the mounds. This particular breed of entity penetrates into our world through the rocks.
Wow.
And I've had many encounters with this particular type of phenomenon. In fact, I've been able to I've had the opportunity to photograph this phenomenon emanating from the rocks. But when we look at the bigger picture, we also see, wait a minute, there's aspects of ufology in which enter the rocks. Cryptozoology, there's aspects enter the rocks. The shining ones also appear on rocks, in rocks, or through rocks. So again, we're focusing our attention on the aspect of the rocks. David Paulides is a wonderful investigator here in the United States and investigated these missing people in 411. His work directly connects with our work, and we're able to see that these key areas match up with his, in which these people disappear under strange circumstances in boulder fields. That predominantly those people are disappearing in the rocks.
Wow.
There's something about the rocks that we need to pay attention to.
Wow, that is so fascinating. Barry, I just want to thank you for taking your time out of your busy day. I know you're going to be speaking a little bit later on. So if you're in the area of Ann Arbor, Michigan, come on down. You get to meet this amazing gentleman. Barry, if anybody wants to reach out to you and talk to you, or, tell you their story, what would be the best way they could do that?
Everyone can find me on Facebook. That's the best way to get me.
That seems to be the social media of the paranormal folks. So there we have it. We have Mr. Barry Fitzgerald. Thank you so much once again. Guys, we are going to be back just a little bit later on. I'm going to go hunt down somebody else. We got so many amazing speakers here, so many amazing people, just like Barry himself. So guys, in the meantime and in between time, I'd like to say happy hauntings.